on hold because I booked Burlington, Canada instead of Burlington, Vermont, which is super fun that I did that. It was just kind of a joke on my end. I was just kind of playing a prank on everyone here. Oh yeah. We're just gonna wait now and see if I can get a refund. So, it's now 3 hours later, and we are still in Lake Placid. Beautiful place to be, sure. However, it's not where we wanted to be. We were supposed to be in Burlington, Vermont. However, we are not in Burlington, Vermont. No, we're not. We were actually booked to stay in Burlington, Canada, and that was on me. So we were looking around trying to find some place, and we just basically decided Burlington, Vermont wasn't 100% where we wanted to be anyway. A witch and a stormtrooper. Scary. Burlington wasn't really high on our list anyway. I'm sure it's a nice place to be. It just wasn't something we were super excited about. It was just kind of a stop on the way to Stowe. And I was just thinking if we wanted to go to Burlington, we could go from Stowe. So I called up the place that we're staying in Stowe and called them up to see if they had a room tonight. They did, and I booked it. So we are going to head to Stowe now. It's about 2 hours and 41 minutes from where we are, and then we are going to kind of feel out the vibe. If we love it, we'll book another night if they have it. That's the plan. That's what's happening. So you guys are up to date. We are making different moves right now. So that's the fun of traveling, okay? That's the allure of adventure, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're headed there now, so we will see you guys when we arrive in Stowe 2 days early. Well, you guys, we made it to Stowe. The room is so beautiful. We're here. It's beautiful. Our bed is huge. The check-in was amazing. The people at the front were really kind. The only downside is that I thought this was a real fireplace, and it's not. Which, me and my boyfriend are like huge real fireplace people. We just think it adds a level of ambiance that you don't get without it. So, kind of bummed about the fake fireplace. Because everywhere is listed as like a real fireplace. And it's like, technically it is a real fireplace. That just sucks. Like a real fireplace, there just can't be beat. When we were in London, or when we were in Bath in England for my boyfriend's birthday, we had a real fireplace and it was incredible. It was like a log burning fireplace. They had like a service where they'd come to your room and clean out the ash. And it was just incredible. That was in the Pig. And I just haven't been able to find that level in America, like the Pig. So kind of disappointing, but whatever. We're here now. And so far, so beautiful. And I think my initial reaction is probably just because it's really dark out. We just got in. We haven't really gotten a good feel for everything. So I think tomorrow morning, that'll probably change. Good morning. We're in Stowe and we're headed out right now. This is my outfit. It's nothing crazy. I'm wearing American Eagle jeans, a vintage sweater that I thrifted, my Michael Kors watch, my thrifted bag, and my New York Yankees hat. I did makeup super fast this morning so we could get going because we woke up late. And now we're headed to, I think, a cafe for breakfast. So I'll take you along with us and show you around. Come on, you guys, let's go. Let's go. Guys, I find this adorable. We just came back to the room very quickly after we bought stuff because we hadn't gone far from like the main strip, and we wanted to drop the stuff we bought off at the hotel. And I changed my top because the one I was wearing, while warm, isn't great for like rain. So I changed into a crew neck, and then I'm gonna put my like I have this vintage Woolrich like duck jacket that I'm gonna put on because that's rain resistant. And then I got my umbrella, and then we're gonna head back out. Despite it being kind of a downer that it's raining, it is kind of atmospheric. It's like quaint and quintessential, and it does keep some of the crowds at bay. I think the stores are really packed because everyone's inside, but I think because it's raining, a lot of people will probably stay kind of away from downtown, which is nice. So look at these houses. Why would you do such a thing? You can say whatever you want because I'm going to mute it. This is our first bite of, this is my first bite of maple creamy. Some ogre has had the other first bite. Oh. That's rich.
It's delicious.
We're at Red Barn having our first maple creamy ever.
Mr. Whippy.
Is that what this is called?
Or soft serve.
Today we are going to Golden Dog Farms in Jeffersonville, Vermont. A locally owned farm that has a herd of golden retrievers to play with. So that's first up on our list today. They give you hot chocolate, they take your pictures with the dogs, you get to throw the ball. Technically you're just paying them to see what it would be like to play with their dogs on their farm, which is an incredible business model. Apple Cider Mill. We're gonna see what their cafe is like and how their cider slushies are. I have a hometown cider mill where I live that I love, and I'm gonna see how the Cold Hollow cider measures up. Slushy. We're gonna try it. From Cold Hollow Cider. Fresh. Kind of just tastes like you're biting directly into an apple. Now, we ate at the cafe, and it wasn't incredible. I don't know that I'd like fully recommend.
No.
It wasn't awful, but we paid a lot, and it didn't turn out like other places you could go. But for apple cider, what they're known for, very yummy. The baked stuff in the cafe was pretty good. We had like a pumpkin whoopie pie that was delicious. But as far as the food, I would say maybe go somewhere else. We're at the Ben & Jerry's Flavor Graveyard, where all flavor goes to die, apparently. All right, you guys, I come to you live from in front of the fake fireplace. It actually does put out a nice little, it's like basically just a space heater, but that is neither here nor there. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff we did today. So starting off bright and early, we were at Golden Dog Farms at 10 a.m. for their Golden Retriever experience. You saw some of the footage. That was incredible, and to me, worth every penny. Now, would I have preferred or liked to play with the dogs a little bit longer? Yeah, but I knew it was only an hour-long experience to begin with. The people who own the farm are really kind and talk a lot about their dogs. It's clear that they love them very much. And all of their dogs are show dogs, I'm pretty sure. So they are beautiful, really picturesque. And they also take professional photos. Now, I had my professional video camera there so I could film for my vlog, but they take professional pictures while you're there. Just a nice perk that you have extra photos, and they have someone else on deck to take phone photos for you, which is some of the photos that you probably saw either on my Instagram, which is, I'm gonna put here so you can go follow me. On my Pinterest, which I'll put here so you can go follow me. I'll put all my socials linked below, but we had just the most incredible time. It definitely is very popular. I was on a wait list to do this, and the only reason we got in was because they opened up a date and I booked about a month in advance. So it's definitely not something you can just show up to. It's really popular, and I think they do 2 of these experiences a day on the weekends. So just keep that in mind if you want to book something like that. It's really popular, and it's also not particularly cheap. This was my thing for our trip that I really wanted to do, and so I spent the money on it, and got my boyfriend and I tickets to go, because it wasn't necessarily super high on his list, but obviously he really enjoyed it. But this was just really for me. And I paid $100 per person, which is expensive for, an hour, but I really valued it. I paid that because I valued it and I really wanted the experience. And it was just so cool. And I personally felt it was worth it for me because I'll remember it forever. So, that was Golden Dog Farms. I also like to support local farmers. I was raised in upstate, in a rural community in New York, and supporting your local farmers is very important. Supporting local business is very important. So I do like to support things like that, and that's why I'm okay with spending a little bit more money. It helps people. Helps local businesses and not huge conglomerates. The next thing we did is we went to Cold Hollow Cider, and it was lovely. I have a local cider mill where I grew up, and I was kind of comparing it to that. It was obviously on a much smaller scale where I grew up, and this one's quite large, but it was really nice. It was The one thing that we had some criticism of was just the food in the cafe. I know it's probably not known for being a world-renowned culinary experience, and we didn't expect it to be, but it's just kind of like lackluster, just a very basic meal at a higher cost, which, like, whatever. It is what it is, but we definitely wouldn't be going back there to eat again. And we had the cider, which was amazing. And we were so full, we didn't get to try the cider donuts, but we think we're gonna go back tomorrow to do that. I guess that brings me to our hotel. So we're staying at the Green Mountain Inn in Stowe. It is directly on Main Street, which is one of the biggest draws about the hotel, is if you wanted to walk up the street and go get something, you can. You can go to all of the shops, walk, you know, and it's really safe. It's a very safe and walkable town. Even when you're walking 20, 30 minutes outside of town, you're able to do that because of the footpaths. It's really, really nice. And I would say if you want something centrally located that keeps you from having to drive in and out of Stowe constantly, Green Mountain Inn is a great place to stay. I also booked it because they had these huge 4-poster beds and they looked really comfy and I just wanted to try. So we did, and it's a really nice room. We had just stayed before this, you'll see the footage. We obviously just stayed at the Whiteface Lodge, and that's one of my favorite hotels ever. And it was so nice there, and they have so many amenities that coming from that to anything else is gonna kind of feel like a little bit of like a downgrade, and it's not, it's just different. I guess I've just been treated to the Whiteface Lodge so recently, and for so long we stayed for 4 days, that this is kind of, it's not the same, but I think in hindsight, I'll look back and think, oh, this was lovely. And it is lovely. The bed is really comfortable. It's location. The location is prime. If you want to be in Stowe, you can walk next door and get coffee, go to the bookstore, go shopping in any of the like little markets. Literally anything you need is right here. So that is the main attraction for the Green Mountain Inn, and that's why we stayed. Also, the front desk team was incredible. We chopped and changed our reservation around because I booked the wrong country. I was supposed to be booking Burlington, Vermont, and I booked Burlington, Canada. So then we had to chop and change our reservation and figure out what we were gonna do. And we ended up deciding that instead of going to Burlington, we were just gonna X out Burlington altogether, come to Stowe a day early, called the Green Mountain Inn to see if they even had availability for a room. They did, booked in early here, and then at the front desk explained to them that we wanted to chop our trip short at the end, add days here, and then we're gonna go to Maine. So we had to do a bunch of like stuff at the counter, which was challenging, and they were incredible about it. They worked really hard, and they ended up, somehow, we were able to get a less expensive stay. They just basically said, we can't put you in the luxury room that you had previously booked on this day. Would you stay in the downgraded room for the remainder of the stay so you don't have to change over and blah, blah. And we were like, I don't know, we really wanted the nice room that we booked. They're like, understandable, you just have to change rooms. And I was like, that's totally fine. And then she said, you do know that the luxury room, the only upgrade to it is the fact that you have a jacuzzi tub. And she looked at my boyfriend, who's 6'7", never miss a chance to say that, and said, like, he can't fit in that. And I was like, nah, you're right. She's like, everything else is the same, it's just the jacuzzi. And I was like, you know what, yeah. So we downgraded the room, which saved us a ton of money, and we're like, let's go to Maine. Like, the money that we saved, let's go to Maine. So next up on the trip list is Maine. Woo! We'll be there for 3 days.
3 nights.
3 nights, 4 days. Super, super, super excited. Anyway, so that's the hotel. And what else did we do? Oh, we went to the Ben & Jerry's graveyard, and we just were so full from everything we'd already eaten. Like when we were at Golden Dog Farms, they gave us maple syrup shots, they gave us maple syrup candies, they gave us hot chocolate, And then we went to the Cold Hollow Cider Mill and we had the cider. We had a whoopie pie pumpkin like cream cookie. We had just like all of the sugar in our systems. We just like could not eat any more sugar. And then we saw Ben and Jerry's and we were like, we should go. So we went, we saw the Flavor Graveyard, which was very cute and fun. It doesn't feel totally the same now that I know that Jerry is no longer a part of Ben and Jerry. I miss him. So we didn't buy anything. It was really cute. It was very cute to do. And if we'd been not so stuffed full, we probably would have gotten ice cream, but we just could not physically eat anymore. We drove Smuggler's Notch, which apparently the first snow of the season, that road is permanently closed. So I think that we got in just in time. It's getting really cold. So I think that opportunity was just incredible. Yeah, that drive was just beautiful. Really scary at points because it's very twisting and turning, like full on snake-like road, and like really steep hills with turns. So if you're a nervous driver, I would not recommend. Another thing to note very quickly before I end the video is that I am already from upstate New York, which borders Vermont, so we have some similarities. And I know from being in upstate that fall gets really, really busy. Fall foliage is very busy. People come to our area. That's our main draw of tourism, is the summer and the fall. And I know that in New England specifically, it's even worse. So that being said, my boyfriend and I decided to come to Stowe later than peak. So peak probably was about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And we purposely decided to come slightly after peak to avoid the crowds, to avoid the price gouging of the rooms, and to essentially just have a more low-key trip with this kind of the same amenities. Now, there have been times during the trip where we both said to each other, wow, how beautiful would that have been during peak? But I'm also trying to, realize and remind myself that I have friends who have come during peak and they wouldn't come back because the lines were so unbelievably long everywhere.